Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'll show you how you can replace your SetState calls with Value Notifier. So whenever you call SetState, what it does is it notifies the Flutter framework that something has changed over the period of time. So it will uh, rebuild the widget tree and it will render the changes on the screen. So this is pretty much basic how SetState works. So what I'm planning to do is today is we will have a box here in the center and we will have three buttons. So whenever we tap on the button, it will change the color and the text color, and something we will show something different on the in the box. So we will use set state first, then I'll show you how you can save your set state calls and how you can uh, save this rebuilding of the widget tree using value notifier. So if you want to code along, I'll drop the link in the description below for my repo and you can code along. So let's not waste any much time and let's start. So first we will give the body, let's give it center, center, give it a child column. So we will have a box here. For that we will use container. So let's give it a height of 200 pixels and a width of 300. We don't need to give a color, so we need border actually, so we will use the decoration property. Let's give box decoration. Let's give it a color, border, border dot on. So now we can give the color for the border. I'll use red and width will be 1.2. So let's save this and let's see the effect. Nice. So to bring this container to the center, we can give main axis alignment dot center. It will bring, yeah. So this is the container. We will give the child property later. So let's start with the buttons now. So for that we will have a row and we will have all the three buttons here. So let's give it a row, children. Now we can use raise button, custom button, but I'll create a custom button actually. So we will use a container again. Let's give it a height of 20 pixels and width of 100 will do, or maybe 80. Let's see how. Let's give it a color for just temporary colors not yellow. Let's give it a decoration of let's give the border radius of border radius dot circular. Let's see. Okay, nice. Since so what happens is if you are using decoration property, you cannot use colors, so colors in the containers, so we have to move this under the decoration. Wow, it's ugly, but let's make it beautiful. So let's give height should be 30. Okay, nice. Okay, so now what we can do is we can give a cross axis center. So we will need three buttons for this. Okay, now we have it. Let's start. height window, yeah. So we can either, let's wrap this row with a container so that we can match the alignment, and give this container the width of 300, and let's give this, no, we don't know this, let's give main axis space between, so that there might be some space. See, also we can use sized box to give a height between the container and the buttons. Let's give it a 20 pixel. Okay, nice. One more thing, I'll use 35. Okay, so this is one way of creating these buttons, but I'll show you a smarter way so that you don't have to write so much of code. So what we can do is we can take this container and let's create a function called build button, and it will take a index. I'll tell you why. And it will take a string of text, and it will return our container. Okay, what am I missing? Okay, nice. So also define the type. Now we can remove this child from these two buttons, and now we have left with the row only. So I'll show you a way how you can refactor this code and not write so much of code. And see, writing so much of code makes the things like very ugly, and it will be more difficult for you to understand what is happening. So as I told you, we have a list of strings called texts. So what we can do is we can pass this in the children's property. We can use texts dot as map dot entries map and clear to list. So what it does is it will take this list and it will pass as a map, and then we will use these entries, and then we will map that. I don't know if I make it complex or easy for you guys. So now we have an anonymous function with a map entry, so we can use this map entry here. So let's call it map entry, and let's give our function build button here. Okay, so for index, what we can have is we have map entry of integer and string. See, since this text contains of string variables, string data, so the map entry's value will be string and its key is integer. So we can use index, we can pass the map entries dot keys for index, map entry, okay, map entry dot key for index, and we can pass the values map entry dot value. So this is okay, what am I missing again? I guess bracket. Yes, let's see, that's why I like this full screen rather than okay, nice. So now we have refactored our code successfully. Now if I'll save this again, I'll have the same effect. So let's move to the selection. For selecting, we can have a selected index, let's call it a selected index, and it will be of 0 index always whenever we start the application. So now we can think like where this index will matter, like whenever we tap it, so we have to use a gesture detector for that, so that we can handle taps here. So let's wrap our build button function with gesture detector. Okay, now let's give it a on tap, and let's use our favorite set state, the easiest set state. So here we can use selected index, and selected index would be our index we are using here, this one. So map entry dot key will be our index, so we can give this value to the selected index, map entry dot key. So now we have selected index. Whenever we tap on different buttons, we can have selected index here. So to use it, we can use the index, like let's give the color first. Selected index is equal to index, then we will give selected color, otherwise yellow. Let's give it black. I love black. Yeah. Okay, nice. So we can tap. Oh, I forgot, we are missing the text in the button also. So for that, let's give a child and use our text widget, and we have our list of strings already called texts, and we have the index here, so we can use it like this. Okay, it is there, but the default color is black, I guess. So let's give it a style, text style, color. So for this color also, we can give, if the index is selected, we will give a black color, and selected index is equal to index. Let's give it colors dot black, otherwise colors dot white. Let's see. Okay, so we have a button text here. To now we can align it. So for that we can either use, see, we have two options to do that. So first one is we can use the alignment property from container, and we have alignment dot center. One option is this, and the other way we can use text align property from the text widget also, this one. So we can use this one also to do the same thing. So but let's give the container only. So now we have our selectable buttons. Now let's show something here. We will show the same text here in the container also. So to do that, we can say we have this container over here, and let's give it a child property, child text, and it's again text. And now we have for index already selected index, so let's give it selected index. Let's see. Okay, let's give it a style of style, text style, colors dot black. Oh, it's already black. Let's give it fonts weight. So again we can also align this using either text align or either container for that. So let's give it 30 pixels. Sorry guys, I think you can hear the dogs barking. They do this often. So we will use this time text align property, text align dot center. Yeah. So this is, I guess this is okay. Or you want? Let's do one more thing. Let's wrap it with a center widget. Okay, perfect. Now we can see the effect button 1, button 2, button 3. So this is it. This is how you can use SetState, and I'll push this code and you can have the SetState. So now what we will do is we will replace all this using the value notifier. So what does a value notifier does? Value notifier holds a single value. So if the value changes, it will notify it listeners. So this is simple as that. And let's see how we can use value notifier. So let's create a file called value underscore notif dot. We can have a stateful widget again, value notif import material dot. Now let's copy this code. Actually, let's copy this code till here. Okay, and let's paste it here. Remove this build and paste it here. So this is the same thing. Now let's change our value notif. Let's import it in the main file notif. So this is, let's reload again. Yeah, so this is again the same thing. So now let's refactor this code, and I'll show you how you can use value notifier. So to do that, we have a value to, you have to first define the variable. Like here we have int index, selected index. So we can have a value notifier, and since value notifier takes a generic type, so we can define the type. It will be int. So let's give it something like, let's remove the selected index first. Give selected index. Now the thing with the value notifier is you have to initialize it, otherwise, because it won't take any null values, so you have to initialize it. Let's give int again, and the initial index will be 0, so I'll pass the value 0. So you have to pass the initial value. If you have, like, let's suppose if we have something, a boolean variable, so what would we have to do is value notifier dot, we will have the bool, and let's say is true something, and again we will use value notifier. Let's give it bool. See, now in this case I can use either false or true. So if I had something like, let's say some checks we are using, so we can use let's say default value should be true. So this is how you initialize the value notifier. So we have a value notifier here. Now we have to use it. So the thing is, what does value like I told you, like value notifier, what it does is whenever the value changes, it will notify its listeners. So now where will be the value change? Where will the value change? It will change in the gesture detector. So let's remove this selected set state. Remove this set state, and see, you can see there is an error, because that integer value cannot be assigned to a variable called variable type of value notifier. So to do that, to fix it, value notifier gives you a property called value dot value. So you have to use it like this, and you can assign values to the value notifier. But like, see, the thing with the generic is, now if I try to give it this string value, so it won't allow me to do that. See, so let's change it to the int. Now we can see that we are changing the value here, but now the question is, which widget and which function will listen to this. So our first function which will listen to is build button. So let's wrap our container with value listenable builder, and let's give it a value listenable should be our selected index. See, value listenable builder takes two arguments. First is value listenable, so we assign selected index here, and second will be a builder, so we can use a builder. We already know how to use builder, so this is how you use builder. But now again, see, the next thing is, it is giving me some error, that equality operator invocation with reference of unrelated types. So how to fix it? You cannot it means you cannot use the equality with different types of variables, like selected index is value notifier and index is a simple integer. So to do that, we have used builder function. So builder takes a context, it takes a value, it takes a child. In this case we are not using a child, so we can pass a underscore. So this value is what we will use for equality. So see, this is dynamic type right now too, and it is a good practice if you define all the types. So let's define the type of this value listenable builder integer, because we know it will be always an integer. So see, the value is integer, so let's give it selected index to make sense. Now we can use underscore selected index. We can replace this with selected index, and we can do the same here, so no errors. So another place where this value notifies being, like where we have to listen, is this container. So to do that, we have to wrap this container with a value listenable builder again, and we have value listenable is selected index and builder function. So let's remove this and this. Now again we can give the type integer, and we can use selected index. Now we can use the selected index instead of underscore selected index. So now I'll save this, and I will do see I was looking forward to this red screen. So whenever you do refactoring using value notifier, you have to restart your application to see the effects. It is same like whenever you switch to stateless to stateful widgets. So this is the same thing. So now we can see the same effect we already had with SetState. Now I'll tap button 2, button 3, button 2, button 3. So this is how you use value notifier, and this is a very basic example, but we can use it in real-time projects. It is very helpful, and it will save your SetState calls also, which is the purpose. So I guess this is it for today, and I hope you like the video. Please forgive me for my communication skills right now. This is my first video, and I'll try to improve it. So I hope you like the video, and if you do, please like, share and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.